Today, we're back with books. My love-hate relationship with book series. Welcome back to Mostly Vanity. Hey everybody, welcome back to Mostly Vanity. Again, I'm Kennedy, and I'm so glad to be here today. Thank you for joining me on my podcast, or whatever that is, not a podcast, but whatever this is, this show about me and then the interests that I have. And clearly one of the main focuses of this channel is books and writing, and I'm going to talk about other things on the show besides books and writing, but today we're back because I just filmed a video on video games and rambling about some of my favorite video games and why I love video games, and that's a great video, so if you want to check that out, I'm sure it's on the channel. If it's not, then I scrapped it, so we'll see. Today we're back with books, and I want to talk today about my love-hate relationship with series. Book series. Series. I don't know. I feel like it's supposed to be series. I don't like that. I don't like words that end with S that you have to do like ownership or plurality to, because it's such a pain. Anyway, grammar complaint over. I just want to talk about my love-hate relationship with book series. And I've read a handful of book series. I enjoy book series, but there's some things about them that they just get to me, man. And I'm just going to rant about it a little bit. And, like I said, there's great things about them. There's reasons to tell stories in the form of a series or a trilogy. But I'm just not a big fan sometimes. I feel like some people write series just to write a series and not because their story requires it. And, I think we've all read, a series that could have been one book, like really, you just stretch that out way too far. But again, there's great things about book series. You can tell a longer linear narrative, and sometimes a story needs, a longer story. And maybe you don't want to put on a 1,500 page book. I don't even know if you can do that through binderies. But in these series, you can dive deeper into the lore. You can take your time through the stories if you really want to take your time with it. Not that you have to rush or anything, but sometimes taking time is great, and sometimes it can hang you up. And again, I think we all know what we're talking about when it comes to books and book series. But I just want to talk about some things that bug me. And I have 3 things. And then I'm going to talk about why I want to try to avoid them in my writing. So here we go. Number 1 is lack of cohesion in terms of stories. A lot of series that I read, I feel like lack some level of cohesion. It's like, oh, this book feels different than this one does, or whatever. And I think some of that is because most people, if they do plot books, do them one at a time. And I feel like you really need to plot a series completely if you're going to write one. But again, I know that's kind of hard to tell people who are, the gardeners or whatever, pantsers, whatever you want to call them. I don't like the pantsers thing. I like the gardener architect thing that George R.R. Martin does or talks about. But, the lack of cohesion with it, I think sometimes can show up in series. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's great. But it seems like a trend I've noticed. Also, just, like, covers not being planned well. Like, we all know how annoying it is to have, like, 2 books that look the same and then this other one looks different, like, and they're in a series together. God, that just drives me crazy. And I know it does you guys too, so. But lack of cohesion. Again, some stories have this, some don't. But it seems common in book series. And it's easier to do with something like a longer narrative like that. Second thing is this phrase that I have heard so many people say that annoys the heck out of me. It's, this series is great, man, but you just gotta push through the first book. No. No, I'm not gonna do that. Why would I waste my time on a mediocre book when I could read something else that's good? You know? And I get it, a lot of times this is, the first book these people have ever written. And obviously, first books are never going to be like great. Very rarely are they masterpieces, unless you take 20 years to write it, But in my mind, it's like there's so many things I want to read. There's so many books out there. Why would I waste my time on a trilogy when the first book sucks, the second book's only okay, but the third book is amazing? I probably just clipped my mic, but I really don't know why anyone would do that. I don't want to. I have other books I want to read, besides your, trilogy, where the first two books are only okay and the third book is amazing. Yeah, that's just me though. But that just is a big pet peeve of mine that just bothers me. And I get it. Sometimes you can't control that. But I don't want to do it. The third is a big one for me. And, books are already a dedication, but dedicating to a series is a different level of dedication. Because I'm okay DNFing a book if it's just one book. I don't really like DNFing books, especially if I spend money on it. But I've done it before. And it's a lot harder for me to DNF a series, like if I DNF a series, it's probably going to be in the first book. But then it's like, if I'm a couple books in and then it gets, it's like, then I've already put in all this time. Do I push through hoping it gets better? Like, I don't know, man. Again, like, life is short and I only have so much time to read and to write and to live the life I want to live. And I don't know. I'd rather do other things and not waste my time, on stories that I'm not a fan of, or that take so much time to dedicate. Like, I've heard a lot of things about the Wheel of Time. Like, the Wheel of Time is great, but it's 14 books. 14. I've already dove into Stormlight Archive, and it's 5 of 10 books out. I think Steven Erikson has like 10 books, and however many friggin' books are in Discworld, which I know that's a little bit of a different thing, but man, I've heard things like in Wheel of Time that it's like, books 10, 8, 9, and 10 are kind of drags, and then 11's pretty good, and like I don't want a 3-book drag, I'll read something else. Part of me wants to try it, but the other part of me is like, man, I could be reading 14 other books. Anyway, those are the 3 reasons why I have particularities about series. But going into more of like my writing philosophy of like why I don't want to write series. I do want to write interconnected books, but not a series, and I won't say something like the Cosmere, like maybe not that disconnected, because like there's connections to the Cosmere, but they're very, very like light, and you don't really see them that clearly. You see little bits here and there, but I want very clear overlaps in a lot of areas, but I don't want there to be prerequisites for reading order, if that makes sense. Also, I just have too many other cool ideas I want to write than to be stuck in a story through a series. I have a lot of other cool ideas I want to write, and I want to get them out. And again, a lot of the ideas I have right now are kind of in the same world or overlap or will eventually overlap. And I'm excited to write those, but I'm very much writing what I want to read, if that makes sense, which I think is a great strategy. So, also, I have to stay excited about what I'm writing, and if it's a series or like slogging my way through book 3 or book 4, I don't know. But then it's like I have to finish it if it's a series, Um, things can be left unsolved in a loose series or whatever it's called that are kind of interconnected. You can wrap up some stuff in a book if you're like, I think I'm just done with this world. Let's come to a conclusion. Of course, you don't want to make it too choppy, but I don't know. It feels less of a commitment when it's like books that are sort of interwoven, but are not prerequisites for each other. I think that's the main thing for me is the ordering, to where you can read them in any order and enjoy them in different ways. Also, just as a writer, it's harder to market yourself if you only have a book series, because if nobody likes your first book, like, cool, you can write the second one if it's a story you're passionate about, but if nobody buys it or agents all pass on it, I mean, writing the second one, if you want to do it for you, that's great, but you're not gonna sell that book, again, unless you indie publish it, which is definitely an option, and it's something I want to do, at least with my first book, I think. But yeah, I have to focus on both my craft, but also my future. And if I really want to try to pursue this as a real thing, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be full time where I go full time writing. But maybe one day, that could be an option. And I don't want to shut that down, but I also want to write the stories I'm excited about. So it's a give and take. And I'm learning my way through all this. As we all are. We're all just trying to figure things out. We're all trying to figure life out. And, we all have pieces of the puzzle. And we just need to come together, work together, share each other's puzzle pieces, and do our best in this awesome existence that we have. Anyway, got a little bit of philosophical there at the end, but that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, hit subscribe, click the bell thingy, leave a comment if you hate me or if you love me. I'd love to hear both, and I'll shed blessings and kindness upon you as long as you're honest. I'd rather you be honest that you didn't like me than kiss my butt in the comments, even if it feels good, whatever. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm gone. See y'all next time.